All right, so here's the video for today for practice all eliminations, and you need to show all your work, okay? So the directions say figure out for each problem if you can eliminate right away, if you need to rearrange, multiply by a -1, or multiply the coefficients. Okay, if you want to circle what each step you do is, great. If you want to circle your first step, that's fine too. I'm going to just circle my first step. So let's look at this first one. We have -5x minus 4y equals -21, and then we have 5x plus 10y equals a -15. So first things first, everything's lined up, so I do not need to rearrange. Then I check, do I have, good gravy, same coefficients and opposite signs, because that is what you need in order to eliminate. And I do, so I can eliminate right away. 5x and -5x cancel, so that means I add everything else. This gives me 6y equals -6. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my math. I'm not going to talk over it because you guys should be pretty good at this part of the elimination by now. So we get y as -1. Then I'm going to bring down one of my equations, and I want you to rewrite it all the way out, double checking you don't make any sign mistakes, only because I see that happen a lot. Then we have 5x plus 10 times -1. And now I'm going to solve from here. And again, I'm just going to solve it. I am not going to go through how to do this because you guys are pretty amazing at this point. You don't really need my help with how to do this stuff. Just watch your signs because I see that as a big boo-boo most of the time. That's like our biggest mistakes. So our final answer ends up being 5, -1 for this first one. And I'm going to post the answer key, so please, show all your work. Let's look at 4. We're going to do 4 together. So in number 4, is everything lined up? And it's not. So that means we are going to rearrange right away. And I'm going to rearrange as a top 2 so I don't have to rewrite. This gives me a 7x plus 8y equals -20. So I rearranged this guy. So honestly, I don't care about this one anymore. All right, so now we're looking to eliminate. Once again, to eliminate, you need to have same number and you need opposite signs. And right now, I have the same number, but I do not have opposite signs. And when I don't have opposite signs, this is when I multiply by a -1. And when you multiply by a -1, all it does is changes everybody's sign. So now I only care about my blue and pink rewritten equations, right? I don't care about this anymore because I fixed it. So this is going to leave us with, well, now we can cancel because we fixed that. We get a -3x equals a -12. And then we go ahead and figure out x's number by dividing by -3, which gives us x equals 4. And that's our first number. Did you guys see that I was about to write it x? That's funny. All right, now I'm going to look at one of the original equations, and I'm going to use this guy. Now we care about them. Once you figure out your stuff here, use one of the originals. And we know x's number is 4, so I'm going to replace that x with a 4 by multiplying it. I'm not going to write 104. I've seen that. Please don't do that. This gives me 40. I subtract that 40. Oops, draw my line. 8y equals -48. Divide by 8 on both sides. Did you guys notice there's no boo-boos today? Go me. Y is -6. So my final answer is 4, -6. All right. So in this first one, we didn't have to rearrange, and we could eliminate right away. Second one here, we had to rearrange. Then we had to multiply by a -1 in order to have opposite signs because we already had same numbers. Okay, so the last one we're going to do together is number 5 here. I originally had 12, but then I realized that I wanted to show you a specific type of problem. So looking at this, we don't need to rearrange, but we can't eliminate right away let's see. We can't multiply by a -1 because we don't know, there's no same number. So this is where we're going to have to multiply by a coefficient here. So looking at this, I kind of have two options because I can turn a 5 into a 10 and I can turn a 4 into a 12. But I'm going to choose the 5 into a 10 because it's a smaller number I have to multiply by, right? So to turn a 5 into a 10, I would have to multiply by 2. But right now they have the same sign. So if I multiply by just a 2, I end up with a positive 10x. But again, in order to eliminate, you need to have not only the same number, but you need to have opposite signs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by a -2. And again, if you forget to do that opposite sign, don't worry. You can still multiply by a -1 later. I'm showing this because there's some people who are like, I don't want to do all those steps. And that's fine. So this gives us a -10x minus 8y equals, no, plus 8y, Miss Rawolf, equals a positive 10. There we go. That looks good. Okay, now I can eliminate my x's. This leaves me with a -4y equals a -20. And when I solve for y, I get y is equal to a positive 5, so that's good. That's our first number. I'm going to rewrite probably the first equation because it's got smaller numbers. And I can do smaller numbers in my head a little bit faster than bigger numbers. So I'm going to replace this y with a 5. So now we're going to have 5x minus 4 times 5 equals -5. Do my math. 5x minus 20 equals -5. Add that 20 on both sides. 5x gives us 15. Divide by 5. X equals 3. So my final answer is 3, 5. So the rest of the problems you're going to do on your own. These are the major 3 where you can eliminate right away, rearrange, and maybe multiply by a -1. And then this one where you do have to multiply by a number to make the coefficients match. All right, so again, show all your work. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.